Friday, but he didn't leave his name, so I thought I was calling back Richard.
Uh,
And then he called me Saturday morning, I got 2 missed calls from the same person, so I thought it was Richard, so I called him back, and I was like, I was sitting down to breakfast, my phone was upstairs, I called him back. I was thinking that he was, not gonna come, and then he said his name was Lyndon, and I'm like, who's Lyndon? You know what I mean, like, I didn't realize that, we were 2 different guys, which is fine, I just.
I thought he texted you about that, but maybe I didn't, but yeah, Lyndon called me Saturday. When I was on a Zoom call, but I think he was trying to get a hold of you or something.
Yeah, my phone was upstairs and I hadn't gotten a hold of him, so then I called him back, because he had called me twice and and I totally thought it was Richard, because I had neither guy in my phone, or read it in my phone, so I just didn't know who was calling me. For all I knew, there was
So there's definitely some logistics to holding an open house, having to arrange with the listing agent and not always having control over.
Yeah, and I think that contributed to part of it. It was just, we didn't door knock. We didn't, the signing that they had put up, they had only put up 3 signs. So then, they're like, oh, you can just show up 15 minutes before, we'll have the signs all out. And I get there and I'm like, you guys have 3 signs. So I'm scrambling and I'm putting out my 15 signs to add to it, because I'm like, it's no wonder why you guys didn't have any traffic, because she was saying she only had 1 person on her part. I'm like, well, you only have 3 signs. I just literally sat in a class saying they go with 25.
Yeah, I
You know
would.
what I mean?
Unless you're doing it with someone in our office that you co-hosting, if it's someone outside of a brokerage, I would almost just ignore them if they say we have signed there, and hopefully it won't come up that often that you're holding an open house right after, but in that case, I would just.
So I mean, for me, and I should have been at 11. You know what I mean? I should have been there at 11, making sure we have plenty of signs. Even though that might drive traffic through her, I don't care, you know what I mean? And then when I get there at 1, at least people have come and gone, and you know what I mean? The location should have been a little more hopping. I mean, traffic wise.
Well, it's
People driving past, there were people driving past left and right.
it's like our neighborhood garage sales and all the neighborhoods around us. I was thinking, that's what I was thinking, it's this would be a perfect time to do an open house if you had a listing or something like that, those garage sales.
Well, I mean, I think it was just. It's whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, and I did, the 1 person that did come in, Lyndon and Richard had already left. You know what I mean?
Did they leave early?
Yeah, they had already skated out, but the 1 person that did come in, I mean, it was a great conversation with them. I put them on the open house, smart plan, this and that, you know what I mean? And, I've been trying to be of service to the 1 person that came in. I feel like they know somebody that's a realtor, but they're not a contractor or anything with this person. So
That was the same thing with Mike, saying he had someone come in whose friend is a realtor, but when Mike followed up with them. Oh, go for it, yeah. But when Mike followed up with them after, they immediately responded and were super excited. And so I feel like when someone says they're, or when they know someone's a realtor,
well, everybody
doesn't actually mean that they're good. Yeah. Morning, Christina.
So, I mean,
Good morning.
Do you mind turning your camera on so we can see you? Thanks. So yeah, not every open house is going to be perfect, and each time you hold one, you'll something might not go right, and you'll figure out how you can do it a little better the next time. So awesome. Okay, so let's
I
start.
just feel like it was a little more frazzled and not as put together and polished as especially coming out of that little class that we had.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So, and I mean, I held open houses where 0 people would come through. So 1 is not 10, but 1 is better than 0. So
And I've had 0. So I've had at 0, I've had 1, and I've had 3. 3 has been my top end.
And as they're starting to implement, putting out more signs of those activities, you'll be able, indoor knocking and things like that, you'll be able to kind of double up your activities and get more results. That's why I think they were talking about this in the skills lab, why they put so much emphasis on door knocking and signs and all their other activities. So if the open house ends up being a bust, they still did some sort of lead gen leading up to it.
And then there's the social media aspect of
Yeah.
social media about the house and just showing to the people that you know on Instagram and Facebook that you are still active. And I don't think a lot of people that I know like comment on any of my real estate posts. They definitely go after my more personal stuff, you know what I mean, to comment like whatever on my personal stuff, but I'm pretty sure that they see everything.
I get a lot of likes,
From your real estate stuff.
on the real estate side, yeah. A lot of people liking it. I started throwing, I just looked around for the real estate humor pages, and I sort of stealing some of their memes, and I've always just kind of kept a good sense of humor on Facebook, because I think that's one of the reasons it's out there. So I'll throw a funny meme up periodically just to try to get people's attention and stuff like that.
And I think it's normal for your personal stuff to get more interaction than your business. It's more personal, they have more of a connection to you through your personal aspects. I find that with my content still, especially like my cats always get a bunch of engagement. So, and yet that's a way that people connect with me through social media, so,
But
and I
like,
think if
this
there's.
page is showing like the metric of like how many people viewed
Mhm.
versus did anything, but so there's no actual interaction, but viewing it, I mean, it's getting a ton of
Yeah.
views.
And
but
there's always-
there's no,
There's always gonna be
Interaction.
significantly more views than interaction though. Even if you get, say you get like 0 likes and 100 views, if you then got 5 likes, you might have 500 views. So there's always gonna be significantly more. Yes, it does help if people are interacting with it, especially because then you know that they're seeing it, but a lot of people see things on social media and they're just not that active, so they don't really want to comment on it, so, yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but my personal page has got 1,500 people on it, and my real estate page has got like 120. Nowhere
Yeah,
near.
that's number 2,
So
yeah.
nowhere near as many, so just in doing the math, you're not gonna get as much activity.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's pretty normal too, that not everyone goes over to your business page. Sometimes people miss the notification or they just would rather just see your stuff on your personal page, so.
but I think it's just a matter of like. The fact that they know that I'm in real estate, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't don't like it,
Yeah,
whatever, as long as you know that I'm in real estate. You know what I mean? Like, I know that you like me and I know that you recommend. Me. So at the end of the day, it's neither here nor there, whether or not you like it.
yeah,
Give me a comment or whatever. We're just looking at the fact that. Yes, you viewed it, you know that I'm in real estate, when that time comes, I know that you'll, at least, I'll be in the running.
yeah. I went to my grandson's birthday party and then saw a friend of my son's who I haven't seen in a long time. And he came up and he asked what I was up to these days, and so I was telling him what I was up to, and he goes, "Man, that is so perfect for you." He goes, "I'll buy a house from you." He goes, "We're getting ready, we're gonna be looking for houses here pretty soon." He goes, "I'll definitely use you." So I would spit on the good side of things, right? So.
Yeah, awesome, so and you were doing family stuff all weekend, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
was
that was at a family, that was actually at a family, because my son had invited all of his old neighbors, his new neighbors, and some of his friends and stuff, and so. Yeah, that came out of that party actually, so.
Yeah, it's interesting how much real estate combines your personal and business lives. Sometimes you're doing something personal and you're not even thinking about business and yet it comes up, so it is kind of nice when you can do both of those,
right?
but still be present with your personal things, so, awesome. And then, so Scott, did you have any other questions or thoughts about your open house?
No, not really.
What are you focused on for this week?
I think just making sure that, I mean, that I'm in line with what my game plan is gonna be going into the next open house. Trying to make sure that I've gotten a hold of the listing agent before Friday or Saturday morning, so that the door hanging or door knocking, hanging, whatever can occur. That kind of stuff, you know what I mean, so that the next open house, at least there's more potential.
And do you already have one set up?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna try to work on that for y'all. I think I'll have some time tomorrow to start that. But of course, if you find your own, that's fine, and just let me know, so.
Right.
And then I have your one thing from a couple weeks ago, you're working on social media and then follow-up. Have you been able to focus on that?
Yes, I mean, my follow-ups, you know. Social medias, those that I think be stronger there. I was gonna print out the calendar that we went over a few weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly where that was. Where they,
It's in the social media playbook.
that's in the social media playbook.
I think
But I was gonna print that out for June so that I can make sure that. Or have an idea of what, or additional ideas if I don't have something on a particular day. And that'll keep me more in line for the end of this month and then going into June to make sure I have something going out every day. I like his idea of just a real estate meme.
Yeah, they're out
You know,
there.
there's nothing else, at least I get something up and out.
And Erica has been doing some of those in video format on her Instagram, so you could go check hers out as well. But yeah, I would follow some of those accounts. I think there's like the broke agent is one of them. I can't think of what.
I can't remember which one I pulled. I just went through and I found all the ones that really worked, because some of them were like agent to agent. Means,
Yeah, I
so I,
think the broke agent is more agent to agent.
and I kind of try to pull those out since I'm really trying to appeal to a different audience. But you know, just stuff like,
But the broke agent, or like even following like builders, like local builders or lenders, like if Mitch is posting stuff, you can always reshare what someone else is putting out. And I do think it kind of helps fill in some of the gaps, like you're saying with the calendar, so you're not having to think of something every day. And then I meant to ask, did you end up sending the feedback to the listing agent Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah,
Okay, did you do it via email or?
so I mean, I tried to call, then I text, then she texted back that she was busy, of course, and then I did, you know, got a hold of her via email.
Okay,
Then no response, you know, but
that's okay, yeah, do you mind CCing me next time, just so I can see that?
Yeah.
So, and see if there's any areas that I think you might have a question about or that we can work on for next time, so. Awesome, well, I'm glad you were at least able to hold one this weekend, even though it wasn't perfect, sounds like it went decent and you got to learn some
I mean,
stuff,
there's
so,
one potential contact. I think,
Yeah.
of it.
yeah. And I saw you posted on social media a couple of times too. So that was great. And then Christina, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was fine. Are you just asking in general, or? I wanted to come to that open house, but unfortunately my schedule was all over the place, so.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, was yours more personal like Kevin's this weekend?
Oh, okay. I mean, my schedule, I've left kind of wide open in case any open houses do come up. So if you have any that are available, please let me know. I'd love to go.
Oh, this upcoming weekend, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I haven't started working on that yet, but I think I'll have some time tomorrow, so just keep an eye out for my text. I'll try to get y'all all set up with one again this weekend. So.
Yeah, that would be great if there is something going on. That way I can start getting a good idea of what that entails.
Mhm. Awesome, and then, for our icebreaker today, it's just another question. I also realized y'all might not all know each other. Kevin and Scott, have y'all met?
I've seen Scott, but I haven't really met him, I don't think officially, have we?
Yeah, we've met it, or we've.
Maybe talk about this.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ignite. So Kevin, Scott, Kevin. Kevin, you just started like in May, correct, or was it April?
I have a license in there. Yeah, a lot of the activities started in May.
And then Scott, you joined us in January, correct? But you were with EXP before? Yeah, when did you start with EXP again? Don't remember, sometime ago, sometime last year, probably. And then Christina, you also started in April or May, it was pretty soon.
Yeah, I started getting set up in April, so yeah,
Awesome.
not long.
Sounds good. And then so for our icebreaker, I just wanted to do a question of what is the last book you read? So I'd love to know.
I don't even know.
You don't read
Meetings
it.
count?
Yeah, if you don't read it, it could be a movie or a podcast or some other form of story. I even have to go look because I don't know what the last book I read was.
Last book I read or the last book that I finished?
Either or both. The book I'm reading right now is Big Potential by Sean Acor. And then the last book I reread the MREA at the end of last year.
So mine was like self-help, but I mean, they were from work and stuff like that, work and then some from church when we were doing. Marriage group, we did like 5 love languages and love and respect, some of those, but honestly, probably Who Hid the Cheese is probably one of the last ones I read.
What was it?
I think it's Who Hid the Cheese.
Oh,
It's like a self-help. It's one of the
that's a funny title.
It is. It's a pretty good book, but
Yeah, the Big Potential is kind of self-help / business as well. He also wrote The Happiness Advantage. Have y'all heard of that?
I don't think I have.
It's by Sean Acor. He was the keynote speaker at Family Reunion last year. And then he also has a TED Talk. So if you want to watch the 10-minute video version of his book, it's also really great and it kind of sums it up well. But it's just about, it's kind of the science behind being happy and positive and how that impacts your business life as well. So it's pretty interesting. And then Scott, can you remember?
So the last one I think I finished was All My Friends Are Dead.
A little kid's book, isn't it? I know that book.
Was that with your son?
Yeah.
Or were you reading that yourself? Okay.
I didn't even think about reading books to my grandkids and stuff.
And the last one that I probably didn't finish was like my first house or
My first home.
my first home that year. I don't think I finished that. Just did looked through it.
Yeah, that's good. And then Christina, what about you?
It's shameful for me to say that I should be reading more because I'm studying so much. It gets in the way, mostly instructional manuals and stuff.
You should
But
also become a real estate guide.
yeah, exactly. But I think it was last year, actually, I read a book. It's a little bit out there called Many Lives, Many Masters, and I forget the name of the author, but it's about this psychologist that talks about how he came to be involved with past life regression, and it follows the story of this woman that he thinks had past life regression. So it's a good book if you're into that kind of stuff. But yeah, short, good read.
What's it called?
Many Lives, Many Masters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think the Colorado real estate books probably count as well. That's a
Those
lot
are
of.
the national and the Colorado one they did not read because they gave us like a cheap book for that, but the national book for sure, that was probably the last thing I read.
It's definitely a lot of reading. And then let's go over, whoops. wanted to go over our calendar for this upcoming week.
Smoke.
I know my allergies are kind of, or I assume they are allergies, but something was going on.
Yeah, it's all that smoke from the Canadian fires,
Yeah,
and if you've been out exercising or doing any of that stuff, it's just been tough on me.
yeah, I didn't let my cats outside on the balcony, Saturday, because I saw that.
Yeah,
But Friday morning, I let them out a little bit, and then before I realized, and then I was all scared because they're just so small and
yeah.
so kind of crazy.
They said, I mean, the thing I read was, it was the worst air quality in the world.
Really?
In the Denver metro area on Saturday.
Yeah, it came down from Canada. Did you know that, Scott? It's
I
on
know.
fire.
Yeah,
I was like keeping everything else.
my kids all live up north, so we were up north yesterday and they had ash all over their decks and stuff, so.
It was pretty, I mean, Friday, it just seemed like gloomy at first, like it was gonna rain, so. It was
It
kind
has
of
to be
like,
covering.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
the different, it's more for the sun.
yesterday was definitely better,
It was.
but I heard that there's more blowing down tonight. But anyways, how's Ignite going so far? Christina, have you attended any of the Ignite sessions?
I have not, but I really want to start getting into that. And if I can't do it live, I'd like to start reviewing some of the videos, so we could probably talk about that later. It's just a little difficult for me to kind of like put everything into my schedule right away. So I'm trying to kind of ease it in. And so this is like step one for me for this class. And then, I'll look into how Ignite can fit in. But I really do want to check out a couple in particular that are geared towards specific topics. So.
Yeah, so the recordings are definitely available if that works better for your schedule. That's completely fine. And Ignite is now ongoing. We will be taking like a week-long break in between each round, but if you miss some of the ones this time or you start late, you can always wait until we cycle back through them again in a few months. But yeah, the recordings are up, and you're not the only one who needs to or wants to plug in via the recording, so that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So,
Do they do a different one? Because they're two every week. Is that what it is? Is it different or is it the same every week?
It's different every day.
Two every
It's
week.
different. Okay. It's a different sec. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding like how it's all laid out.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday are Monday night and Tuesday during the day are the same session, and then Wednesday night and Thursday are the same session. But like last Thursday, we were on, I think, session 5. So today and tomorrow is session 6, and then moving forward. So
What is session 6 about?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I know last round I was in.
I think it might be on the calendar, actually.
I don't know that it gives the, oh wait, yes, it is. So
Database.
today and tomorrow's, we're on the lead gen section, so yeah, growing your database, and then Thursday, open houses, so that would be a great one for all of y'all to attend. And then social media is the 30th. So all of those look great. And then Scott, Kevin, how is it going for y'all?
Oh, I love the Ignite. I think it's really good. I'm sorry I had to miss last week. I sat in on Kevin's contracts class, which is really, really good. Really overwhelming. And there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
It was good, and it gave me a little bit better understanding. I took a ton of notes. I mean, I'll definitely have to use my notes first time I fill something out like that.
Yeah.
So,
I actually have all of the Texas and now Colorado documents like redlined in my Google Drive. And once you get going, you likely won't have to reference it as much, but if you're just like want to double check, or if you are like feeling under the weather, it's so nice to have all of your notes, and especially when you get some of the explanations for like what this paragraph means and all that. So I would definitely save all of those for the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They gave us all the contracts in our school that we did, so I just kept that, and then I made those on the actual contract, so it was really good. But no, I think the Ignite's been really, really good. I know that, I mean, one of the things I'm struggling with a little bit is just time management. I mean, it's, I don't want to text a bunch of people and say, hey, let's go to lunch. And then when they call back and say, okay, I'll meet you on Thursday, then I have to say, oh, sorry, I got class on Thursday. So that's one of the things that I don't know. So I've been kind of holding off on sending a lot of texts and you know, trying to generate a whole lot of leads just because my calendar is so full through the middle of the day. So
yeah, and it will lessen over time. You're typically
I get
doing
that.
more classes, but do you have any friends that do like late lunches or early dinner, happy hour type?
yeah, not too much because I'm not a big drinker, so so not so much there, but.
Or a breakfast?
Maybe a breakfast, I
Yeah.
can probably consider that, but even at that, I mean, if I end up in Aurora for a breakfast and have a Ignite class at 10 o'clock, you know, it's difficult.
Which you probably pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean,
That's just kind of a personal struggle that I'm just trying to kind of look through right now, so that's.
mhm. Yeah, you could, I mean, you could try to do like a late lunch or a dinner instead. But if lunch is your go-to, then you might just only have a few days available right now.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, that's tricky. And then Scott, how's it going for you so far?
With
Ignite?
Ignite. Good, I mean, I found it informational. Yeah, I mean, it's all good information. Just
Yeah.
trying to implement some stuff. I miss some Ignite classes just due to
Mhm.
other appointments that I have set, but I mean, essentially that's where I can catch up on recordings and such if need be. And
Yeah,
then I work in the evenings, so
yeah,
obviously scheduling is always gonna be tough, at least until I get a big giant clientele base. Right, make this my
Start getting
only source of,
yeah.
make this my.
And even at that, but even at that, I mean, there's a lot more time management than I thought there was gonna be. So those things are all over my house right now. They say not to kill them though, because they pollinate.
Yeah, I let like 10 out of my back door this morning. But
Oh,
yeah,
your cats love those.
my cat Violet killed one the other day, and I had to grab it so she didn't eat it. But yeah, but yeah, the time management, it's interesting because you think that being your own boss and having more freedom will just make everything line up perfectly, and yet you almost have to put a little bit more effort into it since you don't have a boss telling you what to do, or managing your time for you. So it's definitely a challenge that a lot of people go through.
And everybody thinks that you're, have all, like my neighbor said to me the other day, well, you got all this free time, you can just hand wash your truck. It's like, dude, you got no idea. You
Yeah.
really don't know. It's
Yeah, it's 7 days a week.
yeah, for my kids,
Not
you
at
know,
all,
so.
7 days a week.
And especially if you're holding open houses, I know when I was doing them both Saturday and Sunday, I would usually take like Thursday or Friday off. And so, you know, you at least have the flexibility to do that, and yet there is always the chance that someone could reach out to you those days, so.
Well, I just don't take days off. That's not a thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's been a thing since 18, 17.
yeah, and you are able, once you start working with clients, you are able to set some boundaries in terms of the agreements, like no showings after dark, or sometimes people will do no showings on Sundays, but then they'll leave Saturdays available. Or you can also let them know, like, if you reach out to me before 8 AM or after 7 PM, I won't respond to you until, you know, within those working hours. If you do that, I would definitely let them know that when you're like in the thick of negotiating, you will be working outside of those hours. But when you're like doing contract closures, things where there aren't as many emergencies, then I think you should be able to have those boundaries in that schedule, so. you'll kind of learn that over time, and at the end of the day, it is your business, so you can set into place those boundaries with your clients, so. Awesome, we got kind of sidetracked, but, so Ignite's still going on this week, the lead generation with Brea time block is this Wednesday, and then we also have our team rally right after that, and then Charles and I are teaching a class on Instagram on Wednesday, so we're gonna talk through how we search hashtags to try to find new people and potential clients. So this is really focusing more on the prospecting side of social media, not the marketing side. And then Friday, Charles is also doing the code book one pagers and charging the storm. So any questions about this week's classes?
I have no idea what a code book one pager.
Say the same thing, yeah.
The one pagers are the so the code books / playbook books are all of these that we've been going through, and then the one pagers are the mega camp systems that we've also been going through.
Oh, okay.
So, great question though.
I'm like,
Yeah, any other questions? No, and then FYI, we won't have group coaching, next Monday because that is Memorial Day. So we'll have that, we won't be meeting that day, but y'all can still reach out to me if things come up. And I will see y'all either the following week or at one of the classes that week as well. So any questions for this upcoming week? No, and then,
Some of them, I mean, they're just, if we want to take them kind of classes for the most part, I mean, they're.
yeah, so, these are, just classes that are on the calendar. So each week I just kind of go through and pick out some of the ones that I think y'all might be interested in, so, like Ignite, and then I typically include the classes that I'm teaching as well. But in terms of this week, I didn't include this one, but this is an in-person class Wednesday. That's one of our regional classes. And then that's pretty much it for this week. And then there's a lead hership self-defense class. But yeah, I don't typically include everything on the PowerPoint, just kind of what I think y'all might be interested in. So.
I do have one question. I guess I got points for the class I took on. The contracts class,
Oh,
so I don't need any points this year, so can I just carry those over? Can I carry those over to next year?
I don't know the answer to that actually.
I'm curious.
I'm not sure. Ask maybe Elizabeth, or you might be able to find it on the Dora website. I don't know. So you got CE hours or credits? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when those expire. I mean, my guess is that it would be the year of, like the calendar year, but I don't really know.
Okay. It might actually even say on there, I think it did say a calendar year on it, but I didn't know if that had anything to do with when you took it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to carry it over, I definitely would.
Yeah,
Might
sure.
as well, yeah.
So,
Yeah, awesome.
thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No, okay, then let me stop the share really quick. So we kind of, oops, I thought that was a moth on me. We kind of started this already when we were talking about your open houses, Scott, but anyone have any questions or anything they were working on last week that they want some help with right now? Christina, I know we touched base last week, but how's everything going so far?
Everything's fine. I did get an answer to that referral that I was talking to you about. So she did finally reach out. So I don't have to worry about that, but maybe later we can just kind of look and see, like, because you mentioned in the referral somewhere there is another button that you might be able to press to kind of start it over or something to that effect. And I don't know exactly where that is. So it might be helpful to look at in the future, just in case I get another referral and they don't respond, and how to restart it so that people don't get confused.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you can resend it once it expires. You might have to do the whole thing over again. And then I was looking and I don't know that you can cancel one or remove it. I don't know that there's, unless I'm missing something, I don't know that you can do that on that tab.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, well, what do you like? I don't like if I know I can redo a renewal, right? You just, send a blast out all over again. But like I had already, if you awarded it to somebody and then they don't respond, and then like a month later they respond, they're not, like something in the system is probably going to get messed up if I awarded it to somebody else, right? Like, I don't know how that.
Yeah, did you reach out to them before you sent it through command?
Like sent the person an email that I was gonna be giving them the.
Or
the
did you
referral.
mention it broadcast? Did you send it to a bunch of people or?
Yeah, I chose the area that the client was going to be looking in, and so then it grabbed like 40 agents or something that had either sold or they were in the area, and so I just blasted a referral out to all of those people, and then like 10 people had responded, and I kind of went back and forth with the client to say like, hey, what kind of person are you looking for, that kind of thing, and chose someone that way.
Okay, and then when you got those 10 people, did you talk with them on the phone or via email, or were you just talking to your client?
I was just talking to my client. I mean, do you suggest that I reach, some of them like said comments and stuff, like when they said they were interested, they were like, oh, like, would be glad to do this, etc. kind of thing. But do you usually reach out to people like through email or through I think there's like a little comment section or something that you can talk to them in. I really didn't know how it worked, so this was kind of like a trial.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, well, first of all, the broadcast tool is great, and I'm really glad you did that because it shows what people are in command, and they're paying attention to their notifications and their emails, and they are just invested in their business and they want clients. So I do think that's a really great way to narrow down the pool. Like you said, only 10 out of maybe 40 responded. I would have maybe asked your client first what type of agent they were looking for, although I think you were fine asking kind of at that stage because you still had a good pool of people. Once you had it down to 10, I think I would have maybe called those people or emailed them to schedule a call, and it could just be a 5-10 minute phone call. Just ask them a little bit about their business, give them a few details about your client, and then see if they're interested. Even though you have given them that information already through command, I think their willingness to hop on a 5 or 10 minute phone call might help you weed down that list a bit more. Because there may be someone who responded yes, and yet they don't really care. And I would even, before you reached out to the 10, I would have maybe looked at the people that left a comment and maybe just reach out to them to kind of narrow it down a bit more. But I do think maybe it wouldn't have resulted in that person kind of ghosting you if you communicated with her, or maybe you had her communicate with you a little bit better at the start, so that she didn't think that they, whoever they are, didn't think that they could get away with not responding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I did give, like, when I sent the blast out, I did tell them kind of like, this is a person that's looking for a specific type of property, so that, they didn't respond if they weren't interested in that type of property. But I guess what my concern might be is because these the referral things make you choose a time frame, and the default is like 24 hours. I put it to 48 hours, but like it will, I guess it's like, okay, if the award is supposed to happen within 48 hours, otherwise it expires, can you get through that amount of, can you reach out to that amount of people in that time frame and kind of get a good idea? Is that realistic?
I think it's realistic, but you could also just let it expire and then send it directly to that agent. You can look up an agent and send it directly to them, so I would maybe narrow it down, like take the 10, narrow it down to the people who gave a comment, and then I would email them to schedule a 5-minute call, or you could just directly call them if that's easier. And then, you know, you might be able to get, if it's maybe 5 people at that point, and I would think that only like half of them would probably bother. That would be maybe 3 people. And I feel like you could get that done in 48 hours. If not, then I would let it expire and resend it. Or you could also say there's 3 people that want to schedule a call and yet only one of them can or is willing to talk with you within 2 days. Maybe you just go with that person because they were willing to make time for you with that.
Got it. So like with this system, and I'm really technical with this stuff, so please excuse me. I understand the process and everything. I'm just trying to figure out like the technicalities of the system. Like when you send the blast for the referral and it expires, you're still able to award referrals to like individual people, even though like you did it as a blast. Is that kind of what I'm understanding? Like I can refer someone no matter what, like I don't have to do a blast to refer someone, right?
Yes, yeah, you do not have to do a blast and it can expire. And even if you say I sent you a referral and it expired, I could still resend it to you. So the system isn't like keeping track of your referral details and limiting you on them. It's just giving you a time frame to kind of help things move along, especially if you're needing an agent to respond to you. But you can always resend it or send a new one or anything like that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that it was like, it wasn't something where I necessarily could get in trouble for not following a timeline or something like that.
No, yeah, you're fine. You wouldn't get in trouble.
Okay, well, next time I get one, I'll try and experiment again. But it was good to kind of look at the system and try and figure out how it works.
Yeah, and I feel like what you did was, you know, fine. It ended up working out in the end. So next time, yes, maybe you could kind of refine it a bit more, but I think what you did is fine. And so and you're able to refer someone, which is exciting, and get them connected with that agent. So awesome. Okay, and then Kevin, do you have any questions about anything or?
I don't think so. I usually just ask.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. How's everything going so far?
Good, I need to start working a little bit harder on learning command. That's what I'll be focusing on this weekend.
Yeah, it definitely helps. There's a lot to do in there, but it really can help your business and kind of streamline things once you get used to it. And
I
then
think Mike told me that is it Marty Martin does the videos.
Marty Miller.
Marty Miller. They're actually very good. They're very short, so you can kind of manage them. And you just kind of go through it step by step, and they've been pretty helpful. So I haven't gone through very video.
Yeah.
So far so good. So
Yeah, and you can always schedule time with Chris as well if you want to sit down.
I've talked to Chris. He's
Yeah.
very helpful. Very helpful. Problem is that it's one of those kind of things where you're in the middle of it, and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's when the shorter videos sometimes help. You just need a quick answer. So
Right.
yeah. Awesome. And then Scott, I know we kind of chatted about the open house, but any other questions or anything else?
So in order for me to run the open house smart plan, I have to spend money on a Twilio account, which I didn't go that route. I just
do that.
manually, I implemented it. And I'm just kind of following the text message scheme that it had. And I've been sending them by hand versus having it automate.
So you can edit any smart plan. When you copy it to your library, you can edit it. So I wouldn't necessarily use Twilio to start. I think manual would be better as you're getting the hang of it. So you can edit the step to be manual instead.
Oh, okay, so it wouldn't automate, it would just, I can edit it, the step too, and when I edit it, do I have to delete it from that person and then re-add it? When I edit the smart plan, you know?
I think some. That's a great question. I think.
Because obviously I thought that it would just go, but then it bounced back with like an error on Sunday or whatever, and it was like, you don't have whatever
Yeah.
method to automatically send out text, and like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna steal your text and just send it anyway, I don't care.
Yeah, I think if you edit it, it'll continue that person at the step they're at with the new edits. But then once you add the next new person, then it'll go through. So, it's not, the thing about Twilio is or the good thing about it is that it would automate it, but
But then you're paying for service.
yeah,
When
so,
when they don't have income coming in,
yeah.
it doesn't make much sense to have more income going out.
Yeah, so I would just, I mean, the emails are automated if you're doing those, and then of course phone calls aren't, texts aren't, so I would just change it to a manual text or manual task. You can do that as well. And that goes for like if you're writing people letters or posting on their Facebook, anything like that, you can always edit the step and make it a manual step, and then in the description, put your script or whatever you're using, so. I typically, when I copy a smart plan to my library, I'll open it and kind of go through all the steps and maybe edit some of them or edit the text, but I try not to get too lost in those details. But like you said, if you're having an error, then I would maybe go fix that so you can, so it'll give it to you as a task instead.
Right.
Does that make
Well, that
sense?
would miss a task that's
Yeah,
coming or impending.
yeah, exactly, yeah, awesome, any other questions? Oh, okay. And then, I'll give you an option because we don't have enough time to do both of these, so, we can either take a few minutes to reach out to some people via text or message to schedule coffee meetings, or we can start going through the newsletters playbook. Do you all have a preference on either of those?
Newsletter sounds good.
Yeah, newsletter sounds good.
Thanks, good to me.
Okay, so we're
I haven't seen that yet.
not gonna get through all of this, but we'll start it.
Okay.
So in the Google Drive folder I shared with y'all, under the playbooks folder, there's all of these. So the social media one is what Scott was talking about, where it has a calendar in it, and then we're going to, there's also an open houses one, since I know all of y'all are focused on that. But today we're going to start on the newsletters one. So this first page just gives a little bit of information on why newsletters are great. I typically refer to these as just like an email or a market update email. And it is really great to include some personal and business content within the email. You could do this in print form, although that would probably be pretty expensive. So I wouldn't necessarily start that, and that goes for like mailers or things like that. I would lean toward more less expensive things like phone calls, texts, open houses as you're getting started. So here are a couple examples. This one, oops. Going out to their database. Let me actually do.
Where was, is this made in Command or is this from another source?
I'm assuming this is made in Command, and let me actually. Pull up. Let me see if there's a smart plan template. Let's see, there's not one posted by KW, but there are some posted by other people. And filter. If there are any 5-star ones. So here's a few, so you could start, you could kind of copy paste, these or, kind of model your newsletter off of these, or you could use one of the ones in command to start from, or you could start from scratch as well. So, but I'm assuming this one, it doesn't say, but I'm assuming it's created in command. So any other questions before we move on? Nope, and then this one is holiday themed, so they have a little giveaway. This is for updating their contact information. So if you are interested in a giveaway, it's great to start with somebody super inexpensive, like a $5 Starbucks gift card. However, you don't necessarily have to do any sort of giveaway or offer people money to try to get their contact info. They also have some educational information. And then they have a market update, more information on staging tips. Let's see. Some client info just about one of their recent events they did. Articles, featured listings. Let's see, property valuation. This is a pretty lengthy newsletter, so y'all definitely don't have to fill in all of this stuff, but free real estate classes and then working with us. So when I used to do a newsletter, I would do educational info and then market info, and then I would include some aspect about my personal life, and then I would have like a call to action with working with me. So and I think there's more examples. Yeah, there's more. Any questions about this example?
I've actually got a little bit of this, that mails one to us every.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if you happen to have received one from someone else, you could definitely use some of what they put in. And then also, if you're doing other lead generation activities like community events or anything else going on, it would be great to include that in a newsletter as well. In terms of real estate articles, you could find a third-party resource to link, but that's not required. And that would take them, one thing to keep in mind with that is that would take them off of your email and off of your website if you are linking to your website, and they would then go to that third party. So I would maybe not link to a third party in this unless it was something like getting pre-approved or one of those steps. And then let's look at the second one. So this is somewhat similar. They have a survey for client events. Happy holidays with a video linked. I think that's a great idea if you do a video to link it in the email. Information about investing. Let's see, looks like one of their active listings that they're hiring. And then the end. So I would lean for y'all, I would maybe lean more toward this email template. Obviously you might not be able to link your active listings, but you could link market info or provide that in the email. So any questions about these?
So I don't see much in the way of personal stuff within any of these. If you were mentioning when you've done them in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like this client event is, I mean, it's still business related, but it's slightly more personal. And then I think this video gives a personal feel to it. This I think is, let's see. This one almost seems, I mean, the second one seems like a team. This one might be an individual agent. I can't quite tell, but I think typically with a team, they might not include personal info, but you know, with this person, she doesn't really have much personal info on here. You don't have to include personal info. That's just what worked for me. So you could really do whatever you wanted. So, and then here's another example from the same team. Let me see. I mean, they kind of have this personal photo in terms of their team, but I think including some sort of photo or video of yourself is great to give it that personal element. Even if you're just like texting someone, texting them a video can work better because it does the same thing. So I think just when you can add photos and videos, especially of yourself, it makes the email a lot less dry and it makes them, if they're not interested in buying or selling, and yet you have some personal things in your email, it makes them want to open it more. So, there's more examples. We won't go through all of them, but there are some examples of print ones as well. Like I said, you could use these examples to start with yours. And or you could also go to the command library or the smart plan library. In terms of a time frame, I think once a month is great to aim for an email. Emails are great. They're not always the most impactful form of communication. So I wouldn't try to send a lot of these or overwhelm yourself with doing this, but it is a nice touch and a nice activity to add when you're reaching out to your database through phone, text, in person, and whatever other activities you're doing. So any questions about this playbook?
What's your thoughts on business emails, sending a business email?
What type of business emails?
Well, my past business was construction industry, so I had a lot of emails for people at work, but not very many personal ones. Is it just kind of a play it by ear, judge the source before you send it, kind of a thing?
Would this be the people in your database? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think when you have a mix of communication, it lands a lot better. So if you did, an email a month, a call every other month, a text every other month, you're interacting with them on Facebook once a month, I think that goes over a lot better. But if you were, say, just emailing them once a week and doing nothing else, I think that would really come across as spammy. And if, everyone has their preferred form of communication. So there are some people that may respond and, ask to be taken off, or they may just unsubscribe. If that was the case, I would reach out to them and just be like, hey, Kevin, I noticed you unsubscribed to my email. Sorry if that was bothering you. How have you been, or something like that. I used to do that, and it was always like, they were always like, oh, I just get so many emails and I already see your stuff on social media. So I try not to take it personally, and I would test it out, like you said, with everyone almost, and see how it goes over.
Well, I was thinking like an introduction, certainly an introduction, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing now, kind of a thing, and I didn't think that would really bother anybody too much, right?
Yeah, I think.
So I think I can get away with that at least. I don't know about the rest of that. I know what you're saying, and I start spamming the word, probably.
Yeah, so there's like one-off emails and then there's reoccurring, so that's a one-off, so I think that's fine. Mike Strickland did that recently with all of his past clients with his other business.
Yeah.
So he set them up on a smart plan that emailed them and then it texted them. And the text asked if they saw the email, and so there were some people that didn't respond to the email, but then responded to the text, so I would definitely do that. And then if you want to do reoccurring emails in the future, maybe you'll get an idea from this first email who likes being communicated in that way. So. Any other questions? No? Okay, so we have 3 minutes left, so I want to do our one thing for the next week. So this is just the one thing that you are trying to focus on and get done by the end of.
So what we done in 3 minutes, because I think it says on the calendar that this last, that's why I had another schedule and I pushed it back. On the calendar that Elizabeth comes out.
In the email?
Well, the one that she sent out this morning. I think it says till 10:30. And not to be.
Oh, is it 11:30? Oh, I'll let her know for, the first Monday of every month is 30 minutes longer, because we have something in command.
Okay.
So she may have updated it for that, and then not for this. So yeah, but typically this is.
I'm meeting with Mitch after, and I had told him I'd meet him at 11, and then I had to this morning and said, hey, I can't meet you till 11. Yeah, he's cool with it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I tell you.
That's funny. Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, so Scott, what's your one thing for this week?
So I'm gonna try to send out some emails to some agents to see if I can generate open house.
Okay,
So they'll probably go out today. See if I can reel anybody in, and then, try to work that process.
awesome. Kevin, what's your one thing for this week?
I'm gonna meet with Mitch, and then also I'm gonna meet with another financing company. And I'm gonna try to meet with another title.
Okay, so working on your vendor
Yeah,
relationships?
yeah,
Okay. Christina, what's your one thing?
Sorry, I don't understand. Is it just like one thing I'm working or plan to work on?
Yeah, so, probably the most important thing you can do to move your business forward this week.
Oh, I mean, I just continue to work on just kind of understanding this stuff, creating a schedule. Really, it's kind of like a long-term goals for me, like within the next month, working on like a social media strategy, that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome, sounds good. Okay, great, okay, so, again, I won't see y'all next week because of Memorial Day, but, feel free to reach out if y'all have any questions or anything comes up. Any last questions or thoughts before I let y'all go? Nope, okay, sounds good, thanks for joining, see y'all later. Bye, Christine.